world is we want the Ethereans be able to swap their Ethereum for Bitcoin under like $3 or something like that. And actually, what's really interesting about Bitcoin right now is that like even with bitmaps, you only pay $2 for inscription.
Yeah.
So like you cannot pay that much on Ethereum.
That's
Um,
not right
and
now. Not
so
never again. I don't think.
right. So Ethereum has the scaling issue. Like one of the reasons why Ethereum is so slow is because all of the blocks or transactions that get into blocks and get assembled into like the set, all of the validators have to validate those blocks in sequence. And because the blocks are produced at 12-second interval, you need about 25 blocks to actually to have the full finality or final finality. So it literally takes 25 confirmations, or I think it's 10 or 15 minutes to get finality of your transaction. And because of the old tech, the way that they have implemented it, every validator on Ethereum, or at least the first 25, have to process everything in sequence. And that's what makes Ethereum expensive and slow. And there's so many things that could be improved. And of course, they're working on it. I mean, they're working on sharding, and there's L2 solutions. But like, to be honest, L2 solution always felt like a band-aid for me. Like you have this one slow chain, and then you're scaling your, you're trying to do this ZK rollup, zero knowledge rollup. Basically, you're pushing your expensive execution layer somewhere else to another chain, and then you settle on Ethereum. And I thought that eventually this would come to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is a settlement layer, and you can have something even faster than Ethereum and Bitcoin, and have this zero knowledge type system that allows you to run NL1 that's acting as a bridge between everything, and it's super fast. And so what we're currently doing, we're experimenting with this technology called directed acyclic graph, and also known as hash graph.
Oh, hash graph.
And yeah, it's hash graph and directed acyclic graph. So it actually it brings me back to my math minor. So I have a minor in math, actually. I also have a major in psychology, and computer science was one of my majors. And so directed acyclic graph, basically imagine nodes, or like a node tree. You have this first node, and then you have two nodes under it, and then two more nodes right under, and then any number of nodes right underneath. So you have those three branches, but you start at the top. So a directed acyclic graph is basically where you can deposit your transaction into a node, any node you want, and the nodes under you, specifically under you, validate your transactions without needing to propagate across the whole network. So it allows you to have kind of like this variation of sharding within a blockchain, and you don't have to do anything sequentially. And when the concept of directed acyclic graph actually means that you start from the master node, and then you visit the child node, and you visit another child node. You never go back. That's why it's directed. And acyclic actually means that you do not ever loop around back to the parent. So every branch of it, every branch that exists within the blockchain is like its own shard. So you build branches, and the validators are voted in to be available to process your transactions. And like if my branch is busy, your branch is created for you that's truly unique, and you actually get into this graph where several, and it's actually 2/3. So in other words, 66% of all the nodes validate your transaction, and then it becomes final, or not really final, but it gets propagated into the chain. And so the tech we're playing with have almost instant finality because of it. I would say 1 or 2 seconds, where with Ethereum it's I think 15 minutes, and the finality with Bitcoin is an hour or an hour and a half, because you need to wait 6 blocks to not to have the block reorg or anything like that, where your transaction can actually be thrown out, if you will. And I've seen that happen. Like
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen I seen reorgs actually throw away and restructure transactions on Bitcoin, which is pretty much, it doesn't happen all the time, but definitely does happen.
So you're saying that this graph concept is what you're trying to implement into X1 to help settle on Bitcoin.
That's right. So first and foremost, we want to have the fastest CVM possible. Like we want to have instant finality. We want to have 5 to 10,000 transactions per second available for the users. So to you, it's going to feel like it's an instant transaction. And that actually what makes it so inexpensive. It makes it inexpensive because the branch of the directed acyclic graph, your branch, does not preempt other transactions. You see what I mean? So like if everybody pile in, the network will create branches for all of the expensive transactions, which will propagate in parallel. So that's what makes it cheaper, because you're not waiting and you're not bidding for space in the block. You're actually bidding in a space within the network itself, and you're trying to take over a branch. And this unique branch is created for you. That graph, that hash graph, is created for you whenever you send a transaction. And so that makes it allows it for parallel execution, instant finality. It's very, very fast. It's almost like anytime you send it the Spider-Verse and like multiple universes and all that, and many worlds theory. So think of many worlds theory applied to blockchain, where every branch is its own world that you live in, and you're not actually blocking anybody else's transactions. That is so cool. Right?
Yeah,